Los Angeles, 1968. As the sun beats down on a busy street, a woman steps off the curb to get to the other side. But all of a sudden, her body freezes. She's upset, angry, confused. And then her body begins to shake uncontrollably. A nearby police officer shouts, "How can you be so drunk this early in the day? Shame on you." But she wasn't drunk, and she shouldn't have felt shame. But what she was experiencing were the early symptoms of Huntington's disease, a progressive brain disorder which affects you emotionally, mentally, and physically. Most sufferers will experience symptoms in their 30s and 40s, and unfortunately, over time, these symptoms will lead to their death. Possibly worse is the fact that their children have a 50% chance of inheritance. But a moment can make a difference, and in that moment, the police officer would initiate a sequence of events which would ultimately lead us back here today. That moment on the street would be the beginning of an adventure. It would start with the foundation of the Huntington Society by the woman's husband, but their daughter, Nancy Wexler, the real key character in the story, would spend the next 25 years hunting down the cause of this disease. The hunt would take her to a small fishing village in Venezuela where so many people had Huntington's disease that scientists were able to identify the cause of the disease as chromosome 4. Research went global, and scientists soon were able to identify the gene. But hope soon faded as the complexity of the disease exposed itself. This model represents the position of the Huntington gene on our DNA. The scientists found that we all have the green section, which is good, but those with the disease have the red section. This is bad. The red section carries additional information which was leading to the disease. So, where do we go from there? Why do we care about this? Well, we here in Ireland care, and we should care, because we are between 2 and 3 times likely to inherit this disease as anywhere in the developed world. So let's put some numbers on that. A busy Match and Crow Park full house this summer. Between 15 and 20 people in the crowd will either suffer from Huntington's disease or develop it in their lifetime, a disease with no cure or no treatment. So hope had faded until recently, when a new technology gave renewed hope. CRISPR, a gene editing technology which allows scientists, using a scissors as an enzyme, or an enzyme as a scissors, I should say, to make cuts in specific locations on the DNA, changing the genetic information. Recently, a group in the USA used CRISPR to remove the Huntington gene in its entirety from diseased mice. Groundbreaking. But we believe we need the green section to work properly. So right now in NUI Galway, we're using CRISPR to target the red section alone. Keep the good, remove the bad, reverse the symptoms. Stephen Hawking once said that as scientists, we step on the shoulders of science, building on the work which has come before us. We now find ourselves in a moment which Nancy Wexler could only have dreamt of 50 years ago. We now find ourselves in a moment where CRISPR is giving hope where hope had faded. We now find ourselves in a moment where treatment for Huntington's disease may become a reality. Thank you.
Eoin Murphy.